the closer that we can get to our food system. It doesn't have to be growing rice in your front yard like myself. I'm just lucky to have a place where I can do that. But everyone can take steps toward supporting sustainable food, as you mentioned in your talk.
So, two million good channel now can be good channel and less about the Puritan about it. You are going on to be seated to less like it. Do 90, the Sana you can never start down about the GCD start out total moves or about it. GCD layer, thank you about it from you. Start reach out with me.
So they say when we eat, we're actually voting. So we vote 3 times a day. When you pay money for food, it's just casting a vote. Okay. So it's like you're choosing green, sustainable food, or you're choosing food that was produced with a battery of chemicals. So they say we vote 3 times a day, or if you live in Thailand, 5 times a day. The one in the pink is my daughter, by the way. Myanmar name Kin Baba Line Lo Kobare. Okay, the final thing is just the idea of restorative agriculture. If you're not familiar with the term, it's a really good thing to learn about. I'm just learning about it myself too. It's quite a
restorative agriculture.
These are students from the local school in my village, so we do a lot of work with kids, university kids, foreign exchange students, 3-year-old Thai villagers, 90-year-old Thai villagers. I mean, we're building we're connecting to a lot of different networks. So these are mainly some of the key things in restorative agriculture. Soil. Soil has life, and that's one thing that we've forgotten about through industrial agriculture. So
living fine.
We call it conventional agriculture, but I think that's the wrong term to use because it's a very short time actually that we've been farming this way. All of our ancestors, no matter what part of the world we live in, knew the importance of living soil. They didn't maybe know the chemical elements and so forth, they didn't know the science of it, but they knew the importance of living soil. But as a world, we've forgotten about that, and we have to remember again, and we have to remember quickly for the sake of our children and grandchildren. And very quickly, again, good soil, diversity, and trying to keep things pretty simple, not requiring too much of foreign imports in terms of nutrients. This kind of farming takes more labor in the beginning, but the more the system matures, the less and less labor is necessary. at the end you're just harvesting basically.
So the long end the follow can the maro low and go in. I mean, change the Bawa Lepa.
And this is nothing new for Uncle Uon and Frida's work in Chan State, doing agroforestry and soil restoration. And I mean, these things are going on all over the world. I'm not trying to say these are my ideas or new ideas, but I am saying it's a growing movement, and it's very, very interesting, and there's a bright future in it.
So the general Shanti Master, they are going to get Frida located the layer. The Pubong Fibura agroforestry look and you look at already they go GGB or the Paloma Japiana in the Longani.
Final slide, just some things that we're doing research on, and if anyone's interested in talking more about that sometime, I'd be happy to do that.
That also slide you might do build another located and that's a do get an I never be built in Sojin and be my doing one I am built.
How many people have heard of the system of rice intensification, or SRI?
System of rice intensification.
Of course. Apparently it's quite common or growing in Kachin State, I understand. It's a little political, but it's, I think, something very, very, very interesting and probably very important. Animal tractors, that's an interesting thing we could talk about. And then just other ways of improving soil quality, covering the soil, mulching the soil, crop rotation, things that these gentlemen have already discussed.
Now, the same also this way. The with Yanni or that chesty now. Yellow didn't change Lamatave and Hala Helena and Yellow Pogo she on Lotara. Now, 8 to bed the Marchico, Yellow Boy and Poga she did a lady to look at any
I've got a picture I could show later. Animal tractor. Basically, I have ducks in my paddy, and my tractor are 2 bamboo poles with a plastic bag. And I herd the ducks into the different paddies.
Okay.
And the ducks have a very important role in stirring up the soil, eating weeds, eating pests, and manure.
Okay. So the chicken option or that of the 200 the listen to taking care about market to the bargain machine pay solution, pay up pay on the time able the time you to get about how they work about how to check it and you go.
We also have a chicken tractor, a goose tractor. Other people have rabbit tractors. My rabbits are free range, and there are pig tractors as well.
So now I look at the child wet or how the child or Joe, I look on it that way don't do that why she did it.
It's not a tractor being pulled by 30 ducks where you're ducks.
Okay. Well, try to say that our demo the mount salad of a lazy can mount salad for dogs.
The final thing I'd like to say though is, in a lot of cultures in the world, when they talk about soil, when they talk about earth, they think of it. They use the term mother, our mother, the thing that gives us life, and we really need to think about.
So the no so the judge now, right? General, you think to Romania Myanmar, easy to answer our general meeting in the purely Shiva.
And we're not treating our mother very well around the world.
So pure solution, you got meeting with the boat, general meeting will go.
We leave her lying out in the sun, out in the rain, out in the wind, with no blanket to cover her. We hit her with sharp instruments and run over her with tractors. We burn her.
Now we don't
We spray poisons all over her.
Now do I say
and then we shoot her up with drugs and make her go to work for us.
ပြီးတော့သူကစီးတွေထိုးထည့်ပြီးတော့ဗောနော်ဒီအမေနဲ့တူတဲ့မြေတီလောက်စီးတွေထိုးထည့်ပြီးကိုယ့်အတွက်အလုံးလုံးအောင်ကိုယ့်အတွက်ဟိုတီးနှံတွေထွက်လာအောင်လည်းလုပ်တယ်
And I hope I didn't offend anybody with that metaphor, but I think it's a really, really serious issue and something we all need to pay a lot of attention to.
ဆိုတော့ဒီဟာဒီဘောနော်သူအနေနဲ့ဥပမာပုံဆောင်ပြတာပါတိတ်အလုံးကျပုံဆောင်ပြတယ်လို့သင်ကြမယ်လို့မထင်ပါဘူးလေဒီအကြောင်းအရာဒီတကယ်ကိုဒီ site ကြီးရှုရမယ်အကြောင်းအရာတကယ်ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့သတိပြုရမယ်အကြောင်းအရာဖြစ်ပါတယ်
But I'm very glad to have a chance to come and talk with you all. Thank you very much, Minzal, for inviting me back to Myanmar. Went to Bade. Jesu to Bade. And I'm happy for your questions.
အားလုံးကိုဝန်တာပါတယ်ကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်
One dollar is the matter. We got it. We go in immediately. The come the kubo. You know, change it in. I'm changing it. We go in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, from the environmental perspective, your presentation is quite nice and quite informative. But from the crop export investment perspective, do you think that your program and your pilot project is really beneficial for agriculture?
Well, I think the problem with the world's food system is that it's becoming so concentrated that there's one big system where what we need are many systems serving different functions.
လက်ရှိကမ္ဘာအလယ်စိုက်ပျိုးရေးရဲ့ပြဿနာကကျွန်တော်တို့ကတပုံစံနဲ့တသွေးတန်တမင်းသဘောမျိုးနဲ့ပုံစံနဲ့တွားနေတာပေါ့နော်တကယ်အမှန်တကယ်လိုအပ်တာကတော့သူ့နေရာဒေသအသီးသီးအတွက်သူဟာနဲ့သူတင့်လျော်တဲ့ပုံစံအသေးလေးတွေမျိုးမျိုးရှိနေပေါ့မျိုးမျိုးနဲ့တွားကြဖို့ဖြစ်ပါတယ်
And I think the food starts, the idea is to be as close to your food as possible. Now that's not going to support the entire world. But it is true that Shanghai, up until very recently, got most of it, something like 70% of its meat and eggs in the Shanghai area. So food systems that connect cities with the area around them, including urban food systems that are growing up in many places, have great potential that's just not being explored. There's just there are a lot of other kinds of food systems that have potential, but they're not being explored because most of the food movement around the world is controlled by just a few companies.
သူပြောချင်တာတော့ဒီလက်ရှိပင်မလောက်ကင်နေတဲ့နေရာလုပ်ငန်းတွေတစ်ခုတည်းမဟုတ်ခင်နဲ့လေ့လာတဲ့နဲ့ကြီးစုတဲ့နဲ့ပေါ့နော်အလေးထားတဲ့နဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့အနည်းဆုံးစောင့်တာဘာတွေအားနေအားသာရှိလဲဆိုတာကြည့်တဲ့နဲ့လုပ်ငန်းတွေအများကြီးရှိပါတယ်တဲ့သို့တော့အဲ့လိုမျိုးကျွန်တော်သူတိတနာတွေလုပ်နေတဲ့လေ့လာနေတဲ့အခြေအနေမျိုးမရှိဘူးဘာကြောင့်မရှိလဲဆိုရင်ကမ္ဘာလေယာလုပ်ငန်းကတကယ်ကုမ္ပဏီအကြီးအနည်းငယ်လောက်ကပဲထိန်းချုပ်တာသူတို့လက်အောက်မှာရှိနေတာမို့လို့ပါတဲ့
85%, if I have the figures right, 85% of the meat in the United States is controlled by 4 companies. And that kind of concentration is dangerous. The system is too brittle, too concentrated. We need certain amount of infrastructure, even globally with food, but depending on that one big system, I think is dangerous for our future.
ဥပမာအဖြစ်အမေရိကန်နိုင်ငံမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သူတို့အသားလုပ်ငန်းရဲ့85ရာခိုင်နှုန်းကိုကုမ္ပဏီ၄ခုလောက်ကပဲထိန်းထားတာဒီလိုမျိုးလူနည်းစုကပဲထိန်းချုပ်တဲ့ပုံစံကြီးပေါ်တော့ဒီပုံစံကိုပဲပြီးပေါ်ရတာဒီအန်ဒီယမ်များတယ်ဟိုပေါ့ဒီလိုမျိုးတင်ရထဲမှာစူးစီးလာတဲ့အနေအထားမျိုးဒီဒီသတိထားမဲ့အနေအထားမျိုးဖြစ်တယ်လို့ပြောချင်တယ်
We got an average of 4 tons per hectare of rice last season. That's not great compared to Australia, but it's well above the Thai national average for rice yields. And we didn't use any pesticides, any fertilizers. We didn't even use any compost, just green manure, cover crops, and animals, and a fallow. The idea that this kind of farming is less productive than chemical farming is only true when